Hello, everybody. Well, welcome today. And today, our guest is Dr. Beverly Wixon. Beverly is located in Florida. So, welcome, Beverly. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you, Kimberly. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Um,
So, I know you have a story for us about change that's occurred in your life. So, do you want to just tell us kind of the situation you were in way back when this change, when you realized there was a change that needed to be made?
sure. I was the proverbial poor broke teacher. I taught high school in Florida, which at the time I was teaching, it was always ranked 49th or 50th in the nation. I think it's moved up to 48 since then. But we were paid once a month. So at the end of every month got very tight. And January was super tight because we got paid the last working day of the month, which meant we were paid before the winter break in December and not paid again until the end of January. So we went about 6 weeks. And so, I walked around saying, just like everybody else, I'm broke. Teachers don't make enough money. If the county would just pay us more, if the world believed teachers were worth more, at least in America, because in other countries they get paid more. I said all those things. Did not grow up ever saying I was broke. Never heard anything about finances. But the day I started teaching, I started hearing it and I fell right into it. And at the time that I shifted, there was a big shift. I was at year 25. I was looking at retirement. And I realized I didn't have money for it. And I'd been saving automatic savings for 20 years. So that's where I was at the time.
And what was it that changed for you? How did that come about?
Man I was dating at the time, I had loaned money to. He'd lost his job. I'd loaned him money. So I felt pretty good about my finances, except for the fact that I never had any extra money to spend on anything. And I realized in retrospect, it's because I was loaning it to him. We bought a house together to be redeveloped and, to flip it, which he never did anything. And the relationship fell apart, but we owned this house together and the loan was in my name. But we were still friendly, so I figured everything was going to be okay. He was making most of the payments. Periodically, he would miss them. I never got anything from the renters because there actually were people in it. He just wanted to do more to it. And the same week that I realized it, which was January, we had just gone back after the winter break. I discovered that he said it wasn't fraud. The attorney said it was. The same week, someone sitting at lunch said, well, I'm just a teacher. I can't even afford to save. And for some reason, after 25 years of saying the exact same thing, in my head, I went, why? This is ridiculous. I know what these people make. Matter of public record. I know approximately what they make. I know what I make. I'm an intelligent human being. Why am I not saving? And so I went home, and that's when I checked my automatic saving, my annuity, and flipped because, like I said, I've been saving in there for 20 years, and I didn't even have half of my annual salary. I beat myself up. I screamed, I cried, I cursed myself. And then I went, wait, just call. Just make a phone call. That's all you can do right now because it's 8 o'clock at night. So I called my contact with the annuity, my financial guy, and I said, we need to meet. And he's like, well, I can meet you in about a month because I don't work in that county anymore. I'm like, no, I'm one of your first clients. You get over here this week. And he did. And so that was the moment of change when he got over there and realized that, oh, I'm so glad you called because we just started this new program, yada, 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 guaranteed so X percentage for so many years. And I'm like, perfect, because I want to be retired in 5 years. This is guaranteed percent for 7 years. He's like, well, it'll take you 10, 12 years to reach your number, the number you want. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. You got 6 years, 6 years, and I'm doing it. I told three other people that I knew used the same company that week. Within the week, I told them. They all called and the program was already gone. It was only available for like 30 days to get into. And I was like, wow, I totally manifested that. And once I was thinking, I totally manifested that. This is miraculous. Miracles happen. And I went, yeah, miracles do happen every single day. I mean, I'd grown up believing miracles happen, that, we're hanging out in space, sun comes up, sun goes down. But that was, I think, the moment that I realized miracles truly happen for me. And just to finish out the story real quick, 6 years later, I started checking my numbers a lot more. 6 years later, I called my financial guy and said, well, I hit my number. So I think I'm leaving teaching. And he was like, no, you should stay longer and do this and make it more. And I said, I don't need to. I hit my number. I know I can survive the rest of my life without worry. That next week, I was informed that the library I was working in at that point in time in my career had gotten a $50,000 grant. So I had to order all these books. So I thought, well, okay, I'll come back next year just to see what they look like. So I came back, and in January, so I worked one semester. I did not do the whole year. I did one semester. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done, because I'd already achieved my goals. And the $50,000 grant was like just another miracle happening on top of it. But during those 6 years, I saw all kinds of little miracles happening, and I still do. It's one of my things I say every day is miracles happen for me every day. And everything always works out for me.
Yeah, fantastic. So when you were able to retire from teaching, what did you do?
I started actually doing it for fun, teaching other people some of the things that I had done with my mindset, and making my changes, because I didn't do anything extraordinary. I didn't scrimp and pinch pennies. I didn't sit at home and do nothing. I actually went to 6 different countries during those 6 years, which was more travel than I'd done since I was a kid. My dad was in the military. And I didn't, I mean, I went out to dinners with friends. I went to movies. I did everything I wanted to do. I still had my annual pass to Disney because it's not far away. And I didn't, I felt like I didn't really change things. But I know that what happened was I quit mindlessly spending. Because I started looking at money differently, I started tracking my income. And my income wasn't just my salary, because that was my only source of income. But I started looking at every time I got something free. Somebody brought in cupcakes to school, I wrote it down, free cupcake. And I wrote it down for like $1, $1.50, depending on the size of the cupcake. Free donuts, a free Coke. Anytime I got anything, I started just jotting it down as these are things, this is my real income. And it was a whole lot more than my salary, a lot more. And so I started sharing those things. Actually, I started before I left teaching. I shared it with some colleagues and even some students. And it was amazing how they would come in and say these things happen for them. And so I was like, yeah, this stuff works. It's not just me, this stuff really works. So I started sharing it online with some people. And I even started a little small group with, just a few people. And then somebody said, you should charge for this. You should do this and charge. So I started doing that, charging minimal, because the people I was helping were, service workers, teachers and things. And most of them were like, I can't afford anything big. I'm like, hey, yeah, pay me what you want. Pay me what you want. Pay me what you think it's worth after we've done it. And that's what they started doing. And it was, so that's what I still do, is I'm now a coach with, I call it infinite happiness and abundance possibilities.
So in those 6 years, it sounds like from what you're saying, that it's not as if there was more money coming in, it was just your attitude to it changed.
Right.
Yeah. And you
Right.
put some small practical steps in place as well.
Yes. And some, little things came in. Like I was previously to that, whenever I would get, like I was a team leader in a middle school and I got a stipend at the end of the year, I took the whole group out to lunch and spent it all. When I was department chair in the high school, after that, because I was department chair that year, and I got my stipend, I didn't do that. I really, and it wasn't a being selfish thing. If I'm not going to do that, we all went out as a group, but everybody just paid for their own. And it happened actually before I got the stipend. So I got the stipend over the summer that year. So it was like strange that I didn't get it before the year ended, which I usually had. But all those years before, I felt like I didn't deserve it. So I pushed it away. That year, I felt like, yeah, I've done a lot of work because I had done a lot of work. And I got asked to like work the football game one night and sell tickets. I'm like, well, I'm going to be here anyway because it was the end of the time period and did all these different things. So I guess that was the next year. Well, it was during the 6 years, yeah. But I sold tickets. Not only did they give me an hourly pay, like 2 hours, but I also got free food. I'm like, I love free food. Free food was my big thing of counting. Was a lot of my tracking during that time was getting free food here and there, and it was never like a huge gigantic meal, but it was all this little free food just added up immensely. And I realized that when you start shifting the way you look at money, free stuff comes to you initially, and I think that's just the universe's way of saying, just show you a little extra things here, and then we'll talk about actual cash. um, but it was just, and like I said, the guaranteed annuity thing, it was supposed to be 7% for 7 years. During that time, most of those years, I was earning over 10%, which is why I was able to do it in much shorter time than my financial person thought I was going to. So
And so, following that, then, how would you say life has transformed for you because of all that you put in place there?
I'm a happier person. I'm much happier. I I know miracles happen. I know that everything that happens is working out for me. I may not understand it in the moment, but I know that it's happening. So at least even when something not so great happens, I will say to myself, okay, I don't know how, but someday soon you're going to look back at this and go, this is where the change happened. This is what led to this. Um, because I look at my own life, my reality now, and I think of I did this not long ago. I kind of made a list of things that were going on, and I became grateful for everything that I have and everything that's going on, even the things that I think aren't great, like my sleeping really late. And I realized, oh, I created this because when I retired from teaching, I said I'm going to sleep as late as I want. So I just realized once I saw that and I look at that because that goes along with the whole miracles happen and everything that all goes along together. It's like, okay, now that I realize I have that kind of power to have created everything I have the power to change it. It's not happening to me. It's not God saying, "Oh, you need to suffer for a little while," or "Oh, you did something bad." It's everything is, well, this is what you wanted. So if you want something different, want it and think about it a lot. Don't just think about it once, because saying, "Oh, I want to be a millionaire," doesn't work. You have to visualize it and think it just every day for just a few minutes. It doesn't take long at all. And so I do that. And I think that has made me happier because I just see the world differently. I see it's not rose colored glasses, but it's certainly rosier than a lot of people I know who look at life as so awful and so harsh. To me, it's not harsh at all. It's sunshine, and every day is a gift. And even like I said, even the not so great things, there's they're for a reason, for me, not to me, but for me. They're to help me grow.
And that's great to hear. What sort of dreams have you got going forward?
Going forward, I've got some travel plans. Like I said, I have managed to travel oddly almost every year since that whole thing happened. When I was still the proverbial broke teacher and just coming out of it, I've managed to travel almost every year except for the COVID years. Um, Mostly overseas. Alaska was last year, which from Florida is like going overseas. Oh my God, it was a longer trip to get there than it was to get to Greece. So I'm making some new travel plans for this year. I had some things for the end of last year that kind of got bumped because we had 3 hurricanes come through the state, and so I've got some travel plans for that. I've got some dreams of not sleeping so late. That's one of the things I'm going to change, is my sleep patterns. I've decided, okay, I've done this long enough. It's time to change, and just to grow my business and continue to be happy and I
And
don't know what it is yet.
fantastic. That's great. Good to hear. Thank you for sharing that. And finally, do you have a favorite quote or a piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with people? That's something that you've learned along your journey, perhaps?
Yeah, I think mainly it's everything works out for me. And when I first started saying that, I would say everything works out for me. It was more of everything works for me. Now I've just put the emphasis differently. It's everything works out for me. It's not just, and it's so funny because I do say that, and like I said, I also say miracles happen all the time. And I have a couple of friends that I go to Disney with because, like I said, I live close, and one of my friends says, "I'm never coming up here with anybody but you." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because when we go someplace, the line is like 10 minutes or less every time we go to a line. It, we walked up to some lines that said it was a 30-minute wait, and we're like, okay. We get in, and 10 minutes later, we're inside." She's like, "I don't know how this happens, but you're the only person this happens with." And I'm like, because everything works out for me.
That's a great way to live. Great way to live. Thank you so much, Beverly, for sharing with us today.
Thank
And
you.
enjoy to hear your story, and I'm sure it will help other people. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure and it excites me to share this information with other people.
Thank you.